Yo, what is good? The devs are off for Christmas, and this is going to be the ultimate tier list for the meta over the Christmas holidays, because there's no chance of any of these being touched while we're in the holidays. We're not going to be touching the MTZ. Everyone knows how broken that gun is. It is what it is. Use that if you want. I'm going to be bringing you 4 close range and 4 long range options to be using over the Christmas holidays, all are within the meta and all completely shred with minimal recoil. So we're going to start off the list with the close range meta, and we're going to start off with my personal favourite. This is the gun I've been using in tournaments as well as general public matches as well, and this is actually the Striker. So we come here, let me just show you quickly. The Striker is a bit of a higher skilled gun. It's got fantastic mobility but a bit of recoil to go aside with that, but its strafe is really what sets it apart from the rest of the submachine guns. If you look here, look at the strafe speed on this. As you can see, you can easily beam out to a decent respectable range with this weapon still. And that's what's fantastic about this, and this is the build I use for this. So we use the no stocks, it brings out excellent mobility in the weapon. 48 mag, 60 ruins the mobility a bit too much, and we don't really seem to need it. Even in quads, 48 seems to be enough. We go for the Striker Recon long barrel just to extend that range and bullet velocity a little bit, whilst not really harming anything on the gun. It does harm the ADS strafe movement a little bit, but only by 0.1 meter a second. We go for the XRK hand stop. This brings our ADS movement speed back up, as well as our base movement speed and our ADS and our sprint to fire speed as well. And then we finish it up with the Shadow Strike suppressor. Now the reason we want to use this one opposed to the other suppressors is simply just because the Shadow Strike has no negatives. If we look at any other suppressors, everyone likes to use the Sonic, for example. Yeah, we are extending the range out a little bit more again. However, we are losing some sprint to fire speed as well as some recoil control. Yeah, take a screenshot of this. So what we're seeing here now is the WSP Swarm. Now this build is very good. It's still got really good mobility, respectable TTK. Very forgiving gun to use, as well as a really good mobility aspect as well. This is what you see in all the pros using all the current tournaments. This is what this build looks like when you're shooting it though. As you can see, it does struggle when it goes out to a longer ranges, but at the end of the day, this gun is made for inside buildings. And this is the build we have on here. So we're starting with the long barrel, purely to extend our ranges, as well as a bit of that recoil control. We do lose some ADS movement speed on it. And we do lose some aim down sight speed as well, but that is what it is. We bring that back up by using the FTAC MSP stock. This brings back our ADS move speed, as well as helping us with our vertical recoil control, which is where this gun definitely struggles with the most. We have a 50 round mag, slight optic or any optic of your choice, as well as the FSS Fortress Heavy to again help with that recoil control. You can get away and use the WSP factory stock if you wish to. This is the one I've been using before I moved over. This one gives you a lot more mobility, but you do suffer with more recoil due to that. That's what this one looks like though. As you see, it's a lot bouncier, but just try between those two stocks and see which one's your preference. Okay, the third one on the list for close range meta is actually the WSP9, or basically the Uzi from any other game. Very easy to control, very good for sniper support, a little bit less forgiving due to its rate of fire, so if you miss your bullets, your TTK does unfortunately get hit because of that. But if you are able to hit your shots, then this gun is definitely a very good choice to use. A bit more of a higher skilled one due to that consistency of the TTK. Build for this though is the WSP Optac long barrel. You can see here the numbers that changes for this. We're going to go again with the MSP98 hand stop. Again, this will help with the recoil control. Does hit the horizontal a little bit, but it also helps with the ADS strafe speed, which is what's huge on these submachine guns. You got your slate reflector, 40 round mag, and the WSP factory stock just to help improve that movement speed. Again, you do lose some recoil control with it, but this gun is very, very easy to control, so it's not really as noticeable. And then finally, we've had a little power creep up here. So this last gun for our close range is actually the Core 45 conversion kit, which turns this gun into a binary trigger. And what that means is essentially when you click the trigger once, it shoots. When you let go of the trigger, it shoots again. So shoot, 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 shoot. It's as simple as that. And this build is actually the best TTK of any close ranged weapon in the game. So this will beat this will beat the Swarm and will beat the Striker. And this is what this gun looks like. And the build we got for this is of course the conversion kit, as well as the 40 mag, slate reflector. We use the XOK edge hand stop. This just helps bring back some ADS inbound sight speed as well as ADS movement speed. It's actually at 3.9, which is faster than the striker. And then we have the Bruin triport, just to help a lot with the recoil control, but that does hurt our ADS speed, which is why we're then using the XOK edge to bring some ADS speed back to it. Okay, starting us off with the long range, we have the SVA. Now the SVA does actually shoot faster on its first 2 shots compared to the rest of its clips. So you'll see it will shoot its first 2 bullets rapidly and then it will slow down. You can probably hear it in the audio there. So what we want to do to take advantage of this, we move it into single fire, and now whenever we tap the trigger it's going to shoot twice. So if you look here, we shoot once and it actually shoots 2 bullets out in the bottom right. So what we can do is we can actually tap fire this gun using that rapid ability, and the TTK is very, very, very competitive with it, with the recoil on it being minimal. Bearing in mind this is with 3 plates on bots. Granted, on the shooting range it's numbers are slightly off, but as you can see the recoil control is very non-existent. Now, 2 ways to build this gun is the build we got in front of us here. So this is with the Spirit Fire suppressor, precision barrel, eagle eye optic, 60 mag, and then the Bruin shot, sync shot grip. Or alternatively, you can take off the sync shot and put on high grain rounds, which is going to improve your bullet velocity in your range, but it will hurt that recoil. However, the recoil is so minimal that you might not care much for it. As you can see here, it's still very as you can see there, it's still easy to control with the high grain. Coming in at number 2 for the long range, we have the Pullman LMG with the conversion kit. Now this gun has been going around for a while. Very easy to control, minimal recoil again, and a very respectable time to kill regardless of the recoil. So this is how this looks. As you can see, that is very easy to control, and here's the build for this. We have the Spirit Fire suppressor again. We have the Jack Annihilator long barrel. Now guys, if you can't find these attachments, make sure you put the conversion kit on first, or the attachments might not show for you. We have the conversion kit, we have the eagle eye optic again, and we have the Command D15 recoil reduction pad. Now what you can do is take off this stock if you wish to, and this is how I build mine personally. I don't have the stock. I use high velocity, wherever that is, which does hurt the range a slight little bit by a couple of meters. However, we do extend out that bullet velocity a lot without harming its recoil. And this is how the build will look with my personal version. As you see, still very easy to control. Okay, and on number 3 spot is a gun no one seems to talk about. This was the first gun I was using when Warzone 3 dropped. This was my very first long range meta build. I don't know if you saw it maybe on Twitter or if you're in any of the Discord. This is what I was posting, and now it's actually getting some love. So leave a like if you ever tried this from one of my vids. But we have the Shadow Strike suppressor. We're not going to be using the Spitfire on this because we don't want to be hurting its ADS too much, because it does get hurt later on. So we're just getting this Shadow Fire purely just to be Shadow Strike, sorry, just to get off the radar. We have the Woody long barrel. This will help your range and your recoil control. You have your optic of choice, so eagle eye for me. Use whatever you prefer. We have the Kimura Rhine vertical grip. Now, the reason we're using this one and we're not using the Bruin Heavy, which is what most people would recommend, is the Bruin Heavy hurts your ADS more than the Kimura, and it prioritizes horizontal recoil. Now, if you look at the numbers on here, our horizontal recoil is at 2.14% with the Bruin Heavy, and it goes up to 2.5% with the Kimura. So we're looking at a change of 0.36%. Which is very minimal, whereas we can bring that vertical recoil control right down by over 7 units by using the Kimura. The Bruin Heavy is the grip you want to use when you have a gun that has a lot of side-to-side bounce, which this doesn't. Hence, it's down at 2 units. Alternatively, as well, you can actually use the. You could actually use the skeletal and get some ADS back. However, we're using the Chimera as it also helps your fire aiming stability, which reduces the visual recoil of the gun. And then finally, we have the stock, which is the recoil reduction butt plate. And this just again just brings some recoil control back in. Alternatively, if you don't like how slow this makes the ADS, you can use instead the various steady grip, as this one doesn't actually hurt your ADS. It does, however, ruin your aim and idle stability. And this is how this looks. As you can see, very easy to control, no recoil. And then finally we have the Attack Eradicator. This gun has been making the rounds. It's got a lovely iron sight, very minimal recoil, and it hits so hard. As you can see, the recoil on this is negligible. Just straight up without any visual shake at all. So that's why on this gun I'm going to be showing you with the Bruin Heavy and then the actual build itself. So we have for the barrel, we have the Conquer 70 long barrel just to bring out some range, and bullet velocity has a very good range improvement with this barrel. We have the Spitfire suppressor, bring out that range even more. Now this one does harm your ADS, so if you're aiming down like too slow with this, you can swap it out for the sonic suppressor. Just be mindful it does ruin a bit of that recoil control that we have built on the gun. Now we have the TacVert core stock. This again helps with your recoil control. And then we have the FSS combat grip once again with the recoil control in mind. Okay, so again, as I was talking about before, the Bruin Heavy stock prioritizes horizontal recoil and visual recoil shake opposed to some of the other grips. So if we look at here, we got this at 6.9 with the horizontal. We can technically get away with the Chimera again, and it'll help with the vertical, and I'll just show you what this one looks like. So it's going to be personal preference. I would suggest one of those two. Depends how much you prefer the horizontal with the Bruin compared to a little bit faster ADS and a bit more vertical with the Chimera. Completely up to you on that one. But guys, if you've screenshotted any of these to try out yourself, make sure to leave a like and let me know. Let me know what your favourite is, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.